Should I go get a Santa hat?
Hey, we're live now. What's up? What do you have, Miss Kay? McDonald's. Welcome to the SERVE Brew. Hello, everyone who is watching currently. I am obviously hanging out with some great friends. We're at Church of the Highlands. This is Miss Kay Moore. She is, I'll explain much more later and she'll explain for herself, but she is our kids outreach pastor here at the Dream Center and loves babies like you know what. She's mama to all. And then I have Pastor Ron Hogland. Hey, Pastor Ron.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome. He is incredible and helps oversee a lot of our outreaches and small groups and crazy stuff, and just has an incredible mind of how to love people and great ideas of just creative outreach and empowering people to find their passion, their dreams. And so he helps oversee a lot of our stuff here at Highlands for outreach and events and great stuff. So that's probably a horrible introduction, but I love you. So, okay.
Thank you, Tori.
Today we are going to talk about giving hope, which is a term that probably not everyone knows. So I was going to ask you, Miss Kay, to explain what is giving hope.
Giving Hope is our Christmas outreach that we do here at the Dream Center for families every year. And basically what we do is we have like a sign-up process that we take the families through. But then we create like a big shopping mall for the parents to, to come and just be able to shop for their children. My heart is that every kid, gets Christmas. And I know we can't meet that need for every kid, but we do try to do it through like relationships and through our small groups or after school outreach, and things like that. But we try to create like a high touch environment to where we're able to minister like to the parents on that day as well. And we do have that time where we do minister to the parents as well on that day, even though they're the ones getting the joy of going and picking out gifts for their kids. We still want to be able to minister to them too on that day as well, because with a lot of our families, like with after school, there may be times that we never even see the parent, but maybe one time a month, because a lot of our kids will just walk to the location.
Yeah.
And so we may not even get to see the parents, but maybe once a year or something. And we just thought, okay, well, we need to create an environment for them as well, minister to them like while we have them. So we do that and have that ministry time with them as well. So
real quick, what does like the day of giving hope, walk me through, like if I'm a guest and I'm coming through. And the cool thing, the vision behind why we started it was because we wanted to help give dignity to the parents.
Right.
We didn't want to just drop off the gifts and leave, like helping them.
Right. And just helping them, to restore like some dignity back, to them, because I know in some cases, a lot of cases, I mean, it's hard for the parents to, to ask for things. And so we wanted to just be able to, to give them a little bit of dignity back to where it's like they can actually go through the mall and pick the toys out themselves and give it to their children for Christmas, instead of someone buying for a child and then handing them the gifts and then them not really knowing like what they're giving their kids on Christmas morning. This way it just kind of, it's like I picked that out for him.
Yeah.
I picked that out for her.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, and Pastor Ron, I'm going to get you to talk about like how we translate this experience into other campuses. But before we do that, if you can, Miss Kay, just talk about like the experience. If I'm a parent and I walk up to the mall that day, what do I, like from start to finish, what does that experience look like for me?
Well, of course, they're meted at the doors with like greeters, that are welcoming them that morning. Just real high energy, high-fiving them, loving on them as soon as they hit that door, just telling them, we're so glad you're here today. And, we love you guys. And, we're just create that environment of like, we're here just to serve you, you know, today.
Yeah.
And so then they will come through the door. We usually do about maybe 15 families at a time will come through every 15 minutes. That way it kind of keeps the flow moving. So they will come to the registration table, and they, you know, will have like an invite, and we'll talk more about the invite, you know, as well, that, you know, the parents receive. But they'll present their invite, and then we'll look up their paperwork, and there'll be a packet, and inside the packet there's like a copy of their paperwork that they filled out for each child. There's a connection card, because they'll also use that connection card in like the ministry area time, you know, with the parents. There's a connection card. There's what we call gift labels, which is basically, you know, like the little name tags that you might put on your child's gift when you put it under the tree, like to Susie from mom and dad. So those little gift tags will be down in the packet, you know, as well. So from that point, after they get signed in, we basically move them into what is called our hosting area. And we usually have tables set up for them to where they can sit and fill out the connection card, and go ahead and fill their gift tags out for their children. And we usually have those because we always, in the packet, we have them in the packet because it gives them time to fill that out, and they don't have to stand before we do the gift wrapping and do all of it. So they do it there at the hosting area. And then from that point is when we move them into like our ministry area. And at this point, they will hear about a 10-minute video, usually from Pastor Dino Rizzo. Yeah. They'll usually hear like about a 10-minute message from him. It's on a video. And Pastor Dino will make appearance that day. You know, he'll come through and, you know, and love on people as well. And then while they're in there, they can receive prayer. We've had a lot of salvations, you know, to take place during that moment that may not have ever taken place before. But that's a time for us to be able to like really love on the families and be able to minister to the families. And then from that point, they are moved into, we create this big gymnasium. It looks kind of like a winter wonderland.
It does.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And so we create that, and we usually have like all the gifts on tables with, you know, everything just decorated. And they're meted with a shopping buddy at that point in time. They have a shopping buddy that they're paired with. And of course, the shopping buddy knows all the details of like how many gifts they can get, you know, and things like that. And
shopping carts.
And
Piggly Wiggly. We borrow.
Yes, and we have little shopping carts from Piggly Wiggly that they always let us use every year. And in return, you know, we purchase a lot of gift cards from them so that we can give those gift cards away like during the day, just randomly give away, you know, pick a number and say, hey, we got an extra card here, you know, extra gift for you today.
Yeah.
It's just to give them a little extra help. So they let us use their shopping carts on that day. And then they have a shopping buddy with them through the whole process. And then when they're done shopping for all their children, and sometimes it may take a lot of them longer than others, you know, depending on the amount of kids they have.
Yeah.
And then they go and they are welcomed at the wrapping station. And we usually have like tons of people that know how to wrap and love to wrap, you know, Christmas presents. A lot of people get off on that. They're very, you know, very particular about it.
Yeah.
And they do such a great job at it. It's not my calling. But anyway, so we wrap presents for them. And that way it's kind of like when they leave, you know, the gifts are wrapped because mom may have her children with her. And then I'm sure we'll talk more about the little experience with like the kids as well.
Yes.
That we do on that day.
Yeah.
So they get them wrapped, and then at that point in time, they exit out of the mall, and then they're greeted at like our checkout station. And there, we just really tell the parents how much we appreciate them and how much we love them. And we let them know that we have a gift for them. And so we give them like their own, you know, special gift, you know, because we don't want to leave them out as well.
They're important.
Yes,
too.
they're important too.
Yeah.
So, and then they have someone who will help them take everything out to the car for them and load it in their car. And you know, if you got a mom that's got 6 kids, that's a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
they're usually like very, very helpful in that process of helping mom get everything to her car and load it in the vehicle. So yeah, that's kind of how it all kind of flows.
Snapshot. And then real quick, tell them what the kids do.
Oh
So they
yes,
have the whole picture.
the kids, we usually we'll check the kids in, and we usually take them into a different area. And one mom is having, you know, her experience with a shopping mall, and the kids usually do. We feed them like a snack, and then they're sitting in there and they're working on a craft, usually, you know, to give mom or dad, you know, after they're done. We usually try to do something, you know, for them to hang, you know, on a Christmas tree or, you know, or something, you know, that they can keep and look at and say that they made and put it on there. And then most of the time, we'll do like, you know, a little devotion with them, you know, like while they're in there. But the kids are not in there usually any longer than 45 minutes because of the shifts moving.
So you kind of keep it fluid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. I love it. And I'm getting excited about it because it's so close.
Yes.
Okay, Pastor Ron, I'm going to mute our mic, but I wanted to jump to you. Now that we have this wonderful picture and everybody kind of understands what Giving Hope is for us, help, if you can, talk about like how this was a successful thing that we did one year. We mixed it up. We used to do like 1-to-1, like a family would sign up to adopt a family and they go deliver, and it was just kind of like, as it grew, it was kind of hard to sustain. And so we decided that this was a new experience to try, and it was awesome. And also want to give props and honor because we really kind of jacked this idea from many other places. Arkansas Dream Center, Memphis Dream Center, and several others. Like, we're definitely not the first to do it. So just want to put that, honor you guys who have gone before us, and thank you for laying the foundation. But Pastor Ron, if you can talk about how we took this and translated it for other campuses at our church to be able to do, and now other churches are asking, you know, what are the do's and don'ts? Like, what are some of the things that, and Ms. Kate, you can chime in, but some of the things that are the absolutes and some of the things that are more like the variable things, like you can skim this part off, but you have to have these components. So give your thoughts.
Okay, I'll try to answer that question. Okay. Really, it looks very similar to what the Dream Center did. I mean, because it was 3 years ago that we kind of changed everything, the way we were going to do the Giving Hope experience, even changed the name of it because it was the Giving Tree. And we decided that we wanted to do something a little bit different and give hope for Christmas, which is what Jesus is all about. And it was a beautiful thing. It's been a beautiful thing down at the Dream Center. And it was such a win that a lot of the campuses at our outer campuses wanted to be a part of it and see how they could incorporate that at their campus level. And really is translated almost identical to what the Dream Center done, just done on a smaller scale. So we don't really dictate every single thing that the campuses do, because each campus, we have campuses that are permanent, we have campuses that are in portable situations, and so some of them for the Giving Hope experience are going to be in cafeterias of the schools that they meet in, or they could be in their actual permanent facility. So those are all going to look, the aesthetics are going to look a little differently at every campus. So we give them a budget for food, for decorations, but the basic components are what Ms. Kay just described. So they're going to be inviting families. And the one thing that we do ask of all of our campuses is for us to go outside of our church family and reach out to the community. This is a great opportunity for families in need that don't know Jesus, that are not believers, that are maybe not involved in a church, to bring them in and let them experience not just Christmas or getting gifts, but actually experience a church family and the warmth and the love that comes with that. And that was such a big win last year with all the campuses, because we rolled it out for the first time and kept it really we asked them to keep it at a small scale as far as the number of families that they hosted, just so that it was more manageable and we could see, because we really didn't know if we would do it again. It was a we were trying it out at the campus level last year, but it was a really big win. We saw salvations at every single campus, and that alone was enough to repeat it again. So Giving Hope is here to stay at the campus level. Some of the must-haves, obviously we do the packets, and that's the same thing the Dream Center does. And so that's consistent. That starts this Sunday. So every campus, that makes it what's easy to communicate from the stage. So that's one of the must-haves in order to make this work church-wide, is that we have to do certain things the same way. So the packets have to be done the same way. Our booths set up at all the campuses have to be done the same way, because if Pastor Chris mentions it in the message, then everybody's hearing it. So it needs to look pretty much the same out at each campus. So that's a consistent component that has to be done pretty much the same way everywhere. So we ask them to do that one item. The number of families this year, we've really left that totally up to each campus based on the size of their dream team, the size of their venue, and what they feel like they can accommodate. So we have some campuses doing 100 families, and we have some campuses doing 35, 40 families, which will equate church-wide to thousands of children this year, which is exciting. So I really don't know that there's a huge difference from the Dream Center experience as far as some of the basic components down to the campus level. Ms. Kay did such a great job the first year of putting all this together and building out the skeleton of it, that it was really easy to communicate it to the campuses. Awesome. And for them to come up with a similar version of it.
Yeah, well done, Ms. Kay. Good job. Thank you, Pastor Ron. So, okay, both of you guys, this is a question that I've had. How do we, either ourselves or for campuses, teach them to project those numbers of people that they're going to be able to serve? So, this is my first time doing it. I don't know how many volunteers I'm going to have. I don't know how to project how many toys that I'm going to get in as far as inventory goes. So how do you know how many packets to make or whatever? I know it's a
yeah. Well, usually what we do is we just go ahead and just try to figure out based on the age group, because we do it by age groups. And so we usually just say for instance, if I say I want to serve 500 kids, then we usually do we'll put together 3 packets, just for that.
So 3 to 1 ratio.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's how we do it, because also too when you do that, you're going to get an abundance of toys, so you don't have to in your mind go, oh, are we going to have enough toys?
Right.
Because when you do that, you're basically, it's kind of like 3 people buying for 1 child.
Yeah.
So in the past, previous years, I know there's probably, I wanted to touch on something, because there's something that we used to do, and it was adopt a specific child, and it was a specific age, and there was literally a child name that went with a certain packet. And we ran into a lot of issues with that, of people not returning gifts. And so that we had 1 child that didn't have gifts. So by doing this kind of generic and age brand, again, Ms. Kay was kind of the brainstorm of moving to to a kind of a generic packet. When I say generic, it's a gender and an age range, like female 0 to 3 years old, because basically the toys that you would buy for that age bracket would be the same. And so it also makes it very easy for those adopting the packet to shop, because then they can buy anything within that age range. And so then you get a surplus of tickets, and then you're not having to worry, a surplus of gifts. Then you're not having to worry about if you don't get some of the gifts back, if some people fail to, things happen, they fail to return gifts, then you're not in that dilemma of not having gifts for a specific child. So I think that's been a huge win of doing that. And the great thing about the way we're doing it now is creating this surplus for this mall, because you actually have to have, and that's the rule of thumb that we're telling all the campuses, because they're asking the same questions: how many packets do we need? And the rule of thumb is we're saying 3 to 4 times as many packets as you are planning to for children, for however many children you have that you're going to do gifts for. But there will be a surplus in order to create this mall experience, so that last family coming through has the same experience as that first family and same amount of choices. You're going to have a surplus of gifts left over. So what we've asked every campus, that's one of the first things we do, is you need to find a ministry partner in the community that you're at, that the surplus of gifts after the mall experience is done, that you can donate these toys. So in addition to the families and the children that we take care of literally through the Giving Hope experience, we're blessing other ministry partners and other kids through the surplus of the gifts, which I think is amazing.
And then we also this past summer too did for our Serve Day, with the abundance of toys that the church just blessed us with. We did a big Christmas in July.
That was cool.
Yeah, so we kind of did our DC Kids Mobile Dream Center. We kind of did a Christmas service, Christmas theme around the truck, and gave out toys. So it created another avenue to just go into the neighborhoods on Serve Day and bless the kids when they didn't even expect it.
Yeah.
Didn't know they were even going to get a toy that day, but they come out and they join us, in with us on the service, and then they leave with a toy. So that was another way that we, kind of got rid of an abundance of toys that we had, like, as well. So.
And you bless other organizations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have another question. This is one I've gotten to, is how do you identify who is going to be invited to shop, and how do you identify the no's when the cutoff is? So I know it's important to serve those within the church and that we have a relationship with, but it's also an outreach. So we want it to be about those outside as well. So what's the process there?
Well, usually it's kids that are involved, families that are involved with, like, our after-school outreach, or, the school counselor may call us and say, hey, I have a family that's, just in need. Would you guys be able to serve them this year? If their parents are in small groups, we do it lots of different ways. And then there are times that, like, we'll get some cases to where someone will call us and say, that we may be in relationship with at another organization, but they're like, hey, I know this family that, that's in need. There's always need, so it's like, you don't ever have to think about, like, oh, we're not going to have enough kids to serve.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have an abundance of kids to serve as well. And that's one thing, like, I would encourage is just, if this is, like, your first attempt of doing this, just to start out with a small number, and then each year just gradually grow based on how, what your capacity is, how on what level you think that you can actually do, and how many kids you can serve, or families. really just doing it, through kind of like relationships, like out in the community, like our neighborhood Saturdays that we do in the neighborhoods. I mean, if parents that come up, with the kids on that day, we serve them as well. We give them the voucher to come here and fill out the paperwork, those kind of things. So we do it in different ways. And my heart is like, I wouldn't mind like giving Christmas to every kid in Woodlawn, but I know that, we can't do that. So, so those are some avenues that we use, just to be able to identify like families that, that we're going to help.
Cool. Pastor Ryan has something to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, because at our campuses, it's a little bit different because the Dream Center is down in the inner city, and there's a lot of need just right around our Dream Center. So, but at the campus level, that's not always the case. They're a little bit more difficult to see. The need is always there. There's always need, but sometimes it's a little harder to find, a little harder to see at the campus level. So a lot of those relationships, as Ms. Kay talked about, are schools with counselors. But one of the other things a lot of our campuses do, because a lot of them are in the suburbs, is ministry partners that they're working with, that are working with families, either feeding families or clothing families. We get a lot of the campuses will go and connect with those ministry partners that they're already in relationship with, and get names of families that would be interested in going through the Giving Hope experience. And then we always typically send out through the small group structure of our church for small group leaders to bring in referrals of people they know in the community. So we rely on that as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's something we've started doing here too, is going through small group leaders or team leaders. And I like that because we don't have like a black and white, this is how it is process, but it's really able to be Holy Spirit driven. So if it's a stranger, but I sense it in my heart, I'm allocated 10 different vouchers that I can give out. So I really like that. And I like it that even if we do say no, I've just like watched the process even today of how it's such a cool thing when families come in. And I mean, I know at campuses it's a little bit different, but for us at the Dream Center, they're constantly knocking on the doors and the word gets out like crazy. So we have to know how to say no, but it's been really cool to watch you guys and me too, like walk through the process of, we want to be in relationship with you throughout the year. Like talk about that. Like, how do you say kindly say no?
Well, today, for instance, we had a couple of people to come through, and I basically, just asked them, said, how did you hear about us? And of course they all had their different reasons in ways that they heard about us. But I basically just kind of was like, I know that you don't have a relationship with us, but we long for that relationship with you and your child. And I'm more of a like relational type person, so it's like I kind of get on kind of their level, and I basically I just tell them, I'm like, one of the things that the enemy would love to do is for you or your child to not be in relationship, with the church. And so, we desperately long for that. We want that. And so I want to give you like some ways that you can be in relationship with us, like all through the year, not this be the only time that, that we get to see you. And so we do have little flyers made up that, that we can give the parents with all of our activities that go on at the Dream Center during, with small groups or after school or whatever we have going on here. They have access to that. And so it creates a moment, for us to be able to, again, even if that is the only time that we get to see them, it creates that moment that we get to invest in them. You know, if they're here 10 minutes,
Right.
you know, we can invest something in them
Yeah.
while they're here with us. Even if we do say no, we can invest something in them. And by God's grace, you know, we usually have everybody leaving happy. You know,
Yeah. It took a couple years to get there because
no,
not an easy process.
nobody gets mad at us.
Yeah.
But you know, like y'all didn't help me. You know, but
Yeah.
you know, we just kind of explain the process of like, you know, we want to be in relationship with you and your children. You know, like I want to see your children on Sunday mornings. I want to see your children during the week. I want to see you.
Right.
You know,
right.
So when they see that it's coming really from the heart, you know, it doesn't offend them, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Cool. Yeah, that's tough to have to say no.
Yeah, very
hard,
tough.
but when they know that you love them, like you said, it makes a world of a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know I'm kind of jumping all over because I've got like thousands of questions. I'm like, oh man, we could ask this, we can talk about that, and then I got this. There's a million things, but I want to go into the nitty gritty a little bit. Like practically, I want to know how to do this. So if I'm a volunteer, you guys keep talking about packets and vouchers and applications. Like, what's all the paperwork? What does this mean? Okay, and Pastor Ron, you can jump in about campuses because you're overseeing the booths and all of this. So talk about that process, both of you guys.
Okay,
go.
You want to go first?
Sure. Miss Kay has done a great job of putting packets together, and what's in that packet really, because the campusers are like, what goes in this packet? We got to make, because they're all in the process of making packets and trying to get them ready for this Sunday, as a matter of fact. And so they're looking at what goes in there, and they're thinking that there's some big secret sauce that goes in these packets, and really the only thing in this packet is a garbage bag. And a Tyvek tag, a zip tie, Miss Kay, and shopping instructions. So, and which are great, and we can share. I think we're going to put that out available for the everybody that's listening today. The shopping instructions that gives you shopping ideas for different ages. So the packets go out, and we put those out at the booth. We have banners. So I'm trying to think of all the things that I have to order from a church-wide experience. So every campus, including the Dream Center, will have Giving Hope banners up and booths. So that's something so that people can identify the Giving Hope's area in the commons of every one of our campuses. And so when that's mentioned from the stage, because Sunday, that'll be the first day that it's available, and the campus pastors will be able to direct people out to the booth to adopt packets. And we let people adopt as many as they want to adopt. We are very fortunate that we have an extremely generous church. And so we always have way more gifts than we need, which is awesome. And that way we can bless so many other ministry partners. The invitations, Miss Kay talked about the invites. That's one of the ways that we identify the families when they come to check in. That invitation is their ticket. So that's something that we do from a central standpoint. We have those printed up and delivered to all the different campuses, and then they handwrite them and mail them at the campus level.
Okay, Pastor Ron, you froze. I don't know if you're frozen to the world or just us. Okay.
Yes.
Well, dear Jesus, bring him back. Okay, I think it's just us now.
Okay.
So he was talking about the vouchers or the invitations.
There you go.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Back. Hello.
Are you back?
Okay, I'm here. So I don't know what y'all heard, what you didn't hear. So invites, did y'all talk about that? Did y'all hear that part? Invites. One of the other things that we do globally for the church is a website. So we're in the process of getting that ready. And really the website is primarily for the people that'll be serving. So that way, again, it's one of those things where it can be communicated from the stage, and no matter what campus is hearing it, it's a central thing. Everybody's going and do it the same way. Serving, whether it's at the Dream Center or whether it's one of our campuses, they'll be able to go to the website and sign up for an area that they want to serve in. As we try to streamline that for all the campuses and make it easy for people to get involved and plugged in. What else?
And two, we'll have all of this uploaded, right?
Yeah, so whatever you guys give me, we'll put on the Serve Day
Yeah.
website. So serveday.today, you can get everything downloaded of how-tos.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you said that invitations is a big thing, but like we have a process. So parents, like if I'm applying and I want to get involved, what does that look like? Voucher, what's that whole thing?
Well, basically what we did this year was we made up, it was little cards that like our neighborhood team or, you know, small group hub leaders or me with after school or whatever different ministries that, you know, we had going on here at the Dream Center. We have these little cards made up to where they could just give like the parent one of those cards. And then what that does is that gives the parent like where to come to, the days to come, and the times to come to fill out the paperwork. And so when they get here, then we have, it's just on one sheet of paper. And like I said earlier, we'll have all this uploaded so you guys, you know, will be able to see like what that form looks like. That they fill out the form here. And then from that form, we take their information. And as Pastor Ron talked about the invite, we fill in on that invite card like mom's name, address, and then the children's name and their age, and if it's a boy or a girl. And then we give them an appointment time, and that is on that card like as well. And so we send those like in the mail like to all the parents. So when they come and fill out the form to sign up their children, you know, we're explaining to them like you're going to get an invite in the mail that will grant you access to come and shop in the shopping mall like for your children. So I was trying to think if that's kind of the front end of like all the, you know, of all the paperwork. But we'll have all of that like uploaded. I mean, we can even upload a copy of the invite that we use.
I was just going to jump in on that note, Kay, because I don't know if we really spelled that out. I know you've mentioned it kind of twice. But one of the things that we do at all of the venues that are hosting Giving Hope, all of the families don't come all at the same time. They come in waves. So they all have appointment times. That's why it's much more manageable for those that are hosting and serving. There's only a certain number of families. So when one wave's coming in or finishing up, another wave's coming through. So it's definitely something, if you're going to think about doing this, that's definitely something you want to.
You said you take 10 families at a time for about 45 minutes is the whole experience?
Yeah. It's usually anywhere between 10 and 12 families. And then another thing that we look at as well, too, because, you know, of the area that we offer for the kids, we want to make sure that those areas, the people serving don't get, like, bombarded with, like, you know, a zillion kids at one time. So we try to look at those forms and say, okay, so that's going to give us, like, this many kids, like, in the kid area at this point in time. So maybe we need to take that person and put them in a different, you know, time slot where it's not like we're bombarding the people serving in the kids area. We're not bombarding them with a zillion kids at one time.
Right.
So,
which just to add on to that note, those that are serving in our kids area at the Dream Center and at the campuses, all of those individuals that serve directly with the kids, if they're going to be caring for kids that are checked in, they're background checked and trained on our protocols for working with kids. So just something else to consider and think about, just to make sure that everyone's safe and it's done in an appropriate way.
Right.
And then we have the day broken down into shifts. So volunteers, people who are serving 13, not volunteers, sorry. They're like, what does that look like? So I have a friend who's worried about, she can't commit to the whole day, but she could have a ton of families. She's like, how do I consolidate? What's the amount of time that I can not rush families through, but how do I consolidate the time? So for us, we've done what, 2 shifts?
2 shifts.
We tried 3.
Yeah. We tried 3 last year, and it just didn't, it just didn't work. Because it was kind of like a lot of overlapping. And so to get the new shift in to kind of give them a little overall training, it just didn't work, so anyway, but we like even have like a shift, like you may have people that say, oh, I can't actually serve on Giving Hope Day. So we actually we set up the evening before. We'll set everything up the evening before. So the people that say they can't actually serve on Giving Hope Day, they can come and help us the evening before set things up. So it just gives them an opportunity. It gives those folks another opportunity. So we have set up the evening before, and then the morning of Giving Hope, the day of Giving Hope, we have 2 shifts. That's usually from 7 to 12, and then we'll take like an hour break for us to be able to like retrain, train the next shift that is coming in. And so that shift usually goes from like 1 to 5, and then we've got like a shift that's like I think, what did we say, Ron? 5 to 8.
For setup, y'all are muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Was it 5? Did we say 5 to 8 for the takedown?
Yes.
Okay.
For the Dream Center.
Okay, so we called it the takedown after party.
Yeah, and that's where it varies for the campuses, and we have not dictated that. So some of them are doing anything from 8 till noon. Some of the campuses that are doing a larger number of families are going till 2 and 3. And so I think the beauty of this event, if you will, this experience that we do, is that there's so many opportunities for people to serve in different areas. So, I mean, it kind of includes everybody from setup to takedown, to those that like to do manual labor and that kind of stuff, to those that like to decorate, to greeters, to hospitality and food, and even pastoral care. There's just so much involved as you can get just about every person plugged in a way to serve at some point. So, and there's different shifts. So I think it makes it easy for somebody to come and plug in, even if they can't do the whole time.
Yeah.
It's really a fun experience.
There's
nothing like it.
I mean, it's so rewarding.
It's
just one of those things that, every year I just kind of step back and I watch it all just moving and flowing, and it'll just bring you to tears, just to see how, mom's smiling and, being able to pick out gifts for children. And then not only that, but just to see somebody in the ministry area that, that may have been going through something that, they can leave out of the ministry area with a smile on their face. So it's very rewarding, very high touch. It really gets you like, in with relationship, like with the parents, and and you get that opportunity to minister to them that you may not have. So it's one of the best things that I believe we have ever done. I might be a little biased, because when it comes to the kids, but
it's definitely the thing that Miss Kay loves the most.
There's nothing else.
But
I agree.
It's just so rewarding. I mean, it's I won't lie and say it's not some work. It's some work. But it's a great investment. A great investment.
Yeah, I'll have to say we have 14 campuses, and that was when we did this last year for the campus level for the first time. One of the things that was every single campus had said in common that it was totally worth it, and it was a win. And the cool thing was that a lot of times you do things and you don't always see the fruit God's doing something, and our job is mainly to plant seeds, and we don't always get to see those seeds grow. But this is one event that you usually get to see some fruit literally that day, and that's so rewarding. And if you want to do something to motivate your team and get them, just last night, Stephen Furtick was at our church talking about, finding your passion again. This is one of those events that will rejuvenate the passion in your team and get them excited about why they're doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it because it's like thoughtfulness is just woven throughout the whole day. Like everything is so well thought and just like all about the preciousness of the people. So, and it's such a day of intersection. So I'm able to use my gifts. I'm able to watch families find dignity and be able to give to their kids, and the kids be able to give back to the parents. It's just every dimension of it is so just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It just is amazing.
And just being able to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Just
take time with them.
Yeah.
They're not just getting a handout, but they're being loved on for an hour straight.
Yeah.
And then invited to Christmas Eve services and building relationships. It's incredible.
It's awesome.
So with that heart talk in mind, what are we like communicating the stories to the church afterwards? I know that's a big thing. Just to be like, hey, this is what you were a part of. Collecting stats, counting the toys, counting the families. How do you eloquently communicate the wins? I know that like at our campus, a lot of the people who are in the stories are featured. So like they're in service watching their own story be told. So like how do you paint the picture of the real background without kind of, you know what I mean, like spotlighting them in an awkward way?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well,
that's kind of a crazy question.
Well, for me, it may be necessarily just, even if they're, not, in the spotlight,
Mm-hmm.
I still love like, just the cool stories behind it. Say for instance, this story happened last year, and, I don't know that it was even mentioned in the spotlight or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a mom. We had done some parenting classes here at the Dream Center, and these were parents that had either lost their children or were at risk of losing their children. And so they were court ordered to attend these parenting classes. And so we hosted those here and got to be a part of that. Like, we fed them dinner because the classes lasted like 3.5 hours, like in the afternoon for like 8 weeks. And so we got to be a part of like hosting those here and feeding them and trying to build relationships like with the parents and getting them plugged into, the campus here. And didn't even know that like this was even going to come out of this or anything, but just love it, having the opportunity to love on that mom, like during those parenting classes. She shows up at Giving Hope, and then she was like, Miss Kay, and I was like, hey, and she was like, I wanted to introduce you to my children. Because when I finished my parenting classes, I was able to get them back. And I was like, what? And she was like, yes, they're here with me. She was like, come on, let me introduce you like to them. And so it was just, it was just one of those things that it was just God, because we didn't even, we were not even like connecting like parenting classes with Giving Hope. Yeah. And then just giving her that opportunity to get her children back, and then them show up at Giving Hope and getting to meet her children and, and loving on her and her children that day. So it's stories like that, even though they're not in the spotlight, I always try to share, with just individual people.
That's cool.
Like, did you, of course, I always text Pastor Dino or, or
sure.
whoever,
sure.
And tell them these little stories.
Mm-hmm.
But is, you know, for me, it's just individually sharing the story
Tell
with
it.
someone else.
Shout it from the rooftop.
Yeah. Hey, Tori, did you hear this?
Yeah.
You know, and it creates a vibe, you know.
It does.
It creates a vibe, and they're like, wow, what? You know, that happened. You know, you've seen that kind of take place and that kind of happened. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be a part of that next year.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
you know, because everybody wants to be a part of, you know, the vibe and what's happening.
The buzz.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Yeah.
You got her talking my language now. Cool.
So.
Okay. Pastor Ron, do you have anything to add in?
No, just want to say one of the things that we always can't share the specific stories, just because we want to, you know, value those families' dignity, but we can share the wins with our congregation. And like last year, I know Pastor Dino gave a message a couple of weeks after the Giving Hope experience, and was able to share the number of salvations church-wide that came out of Giving Hope. And definitely, I think that's the biggest win that we could possibly get out of this. And so those were sharing those kind of wins with the congregation and letting them see the big picture of, you know, because you may have just been a greeter at one campus and not saw the actual salvation take place or experience that one-on-one. But when you get to hear collectively what we did as a group, as a church, and hear that, you know, like 1,000 people were saved, and hear those kind of numbers of what you got to be a part of, suddenly it has a whole different meaning. And so sharing those numbers and kind of things is another way that we can share the wins with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay. I have two more really practical questions. I know, again, I'm going back and forth, but I've had people texting me and different stuff. But one question is, like, if I'm a church and I don't have like a good location, like I'm a portable campus I set up in a school, I can't use the school or whatever, it's not big enough, how would you guys recommend them finding? I know you've got some good thoughts, Pastor Ron, other campuses.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the majority of our campuses are in a portable situation, including our Woodlawn campus, which is connected with our Dream Center. And actually, the Dream Center uses the school cafeteria, and that is what a number of our campuses are doing. So if you're in a portable situation and you already have, like I know a lot of our campuses, our portable campuses, use the school cafeteria to set up their children's area. So what most of them are doing for Giving Hope is they're going ahead and setting up that area just as they would for a typical Sunday, and utilizing it for the Giving Hope, because then you have all the rooms you need for the children, for care, and then decorations and everything. So it kind of has that kid-friendly environment already when they come in. I know some of our campuses have had to go to other venues, but I think a lot of times if you're in a portable situation where you're in a school, depending on the time of the year, which is the latter part of December when we do it, most of the schools are out or are getting out. So it's not a conflict with anything going on at the school. In fact, like at the campus that I'm at, we're actually setting up on Friday night, leaving it up for Giving Hope on Saturday, and then getting to leave it up for Sunday, which saves our setup team for our Sunday services. So it's just a matter of reaching out to your school and asking. I think when they realize what you're doing, I think it'd be very unlikely that they would say no. But, reaching out to your schools, I think if you're in a portable situation, maybe not in a school, reach out to a school and utilize their cafeteria or a couple of their rooms.
Or if there's an area that like you're ministering in, like, us here at the Dream Center, there may be a rec center, nearby, that you can use.
Gym or,
gym. Gyms are great, So, really any space that you can find, you can make it work.
So a big wide open space.
All it takes is some pipe and drape.
Yeah, pipe and drape and bisque clean on the gym floor, the brand new gym floor, so you don't scratch it. Been there, done that. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Wait, are you still talking? I'm sorry.
No.
Are you still answering?
No.
Sorry. Hey. Okay, so we have 5 more minutes. Is there anything else that I have not asked that you guys feel like everybody needs to know about this? Anything to add? And also, I know we'll point people to contact you guys if they have deeper questions or more in-depth.
I'll throw something out there to think of, because this is something all of our campuses have to think about, is storage. Because when you start getting the gifts back, you got to have a place to put them. So, and you can rent these little attic storage pods pretty inexpensively for like maybe $150 for a month, and they'll do perfect for storing gifts. And that's most of what all of our portable campuses and even some of our permanent campuses are doing, because of the way our facilities are built. They just we don't have a whole lot of place for storage. So something to think about, that because when the gifts start coming back, you gotta have a place to put them.
Right.
Yeah.
True. That's the beast.
I was sitting here trying to think of like what would be something that would be like important for, like me to know up front. And every year we have to like navigate this, but it's like, like the random people you get, that show up, because they see something going on. And
that's true.
Like what's going on here? Oh, you are giving away free toys. And so, how you just kind of navigate, through all that. So I would say, consider having those people that, that like really love people, and that can, are just, very soft spoken, and, that can explain, like what's going on, and like, how they can get involved, with the campus or the Dream Center, or, kids get involved, and then just say, we would love to serve you guys like next year. Cause you'll get those random people, that will walk up and, and just show up, and, because they see something, going on. So,
yeah. And I know in the past we have like kind of told them they could check back at the end. Are we going to nix that this year?
Yeah, we're not going to do that, because it became so overwhelming last year.
So many.
Yeah. It was just so many of them, and then also to make sure that you don't have make sure that everybody's on the same page with it, because you don't need 5 different people saying like 5 different things, to make sure that like everybody is on the same page with that, because if you have somebody to say, oh, check that with us at 4:30, we have some stuff left, and
they're not happy.
Yeah. So
cool.
Just one thought, and this is on a totally different subject, but I'm sure there's probably a lot of people on the call that are probably asking, yeah, but how much does all this cost? Because I know budget is always a question. And so, yeah, look at but I want to throw this out there, is that you can do this with relatively, our campuses are giving a budget of $1,500 or less to do this. And so, because the bulk of the expense is the gifts, and those are donated by your members. And so really the only thing you're buying for is for food for the event, and decorations, and some miscellaneous items like maybe a storage pod. So, each one of our campuses is giving less than $1,500 to pull this event off. So it's not really, it's a huge bang for a minimal amount. So you can really pull this off without spending a whole lot of money.
Cool. And another thing too, like with decorations, I usually go to Party City, and on decorations every year, I probably end up spending about $300 to decorate the whole area. So it's like whatever I find at Party City, it's what I use.
Yeah.
And it usually,
and the blow-ups, you get the blow-ups, and they last every year.
We get the big blow-ups, that people put in their lawn, out on their lawn at Christmas time, like, snowmen and, those things. We get a lot of those, and, we just put all the big bulks of cotton around it to make it look like snow. So it's, you know, it's not that expensive to decorate because, like I said, every year I usually Walmart, the little 99-cent table covers. You know, we usually take like a roll of the table covering and wrap around the base of the table, and then just put a cheap little table cover over it, tablecloth over it. And so it makes it look very festive. Is there a way to maybe put like some pictures up?
Sure.
From the years past?
We can figure that out.
Yeah. So that they could see kind of like what I'm talking about, like with the decorations.
Definitely. We'll probably put that on the Facebook, the SERVEolution Facebook page, have an album. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
A link to it.
Yeah. So don't think, oh my goodness, I've got to have this team that can build all of this decorations and, you know, and assemble it and put it all together. And, you know, because it's not like that. I mean, like I go to Party City and, you know, and buy about $300 worth of stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's fun.
So it can be as simple or as extravagant as you want it to be. It's, like you said, a great bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So
now, if you have someone in your church that loves building stuff and doing all that, hey, put them to work.
Let them do it.
Let them do it.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay, well, I think that we are out of time for today, but thank you guys so much. How can people contact you guys directly if they have any questions?
I am Kay at churchofthehighlands.com. And then my direct line here at the Dream Center is area code 205-731-2543. And I may have said that too fast, so.
We can rewind and watch back later.
Okay, great, yeah.
Pastor Ron, what about you?
I am not Kay at Church of the Highlands. Actually, I'm Ron, R-O-N, at churchofthehighlands.com.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, and then also everybody stay tuned to ServeDay.today. We're going to get some resources up, and also SERVEolution Facebook for some pictures of giving them. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us today.
Have a great day. Bye.